Greetings, my fellow Trinitarians. We are now officially less than 2 weeks away from the start of the 2020-2021 school year. And while there are still lots of details to work out, our teachers and our staff are very excited and are eagerly preparing for the return of students to our campuses on the 19th. This past week, our Titan Force Committee met to discuss more the details related to our plan to reopen school for in-person learning on August 19th. And while I have no big new announcement to make on this, we are happy to publish a 2020-2021 back-to-school guide that will provide sort of the next level of details regarding the implementation of our risk mitigation and health and wellness strategies. You can download this guide on the Trinity website. If I'm totally honest, though, I have to admit that the past month has been anything but a walk in the park. Transitioning into a new leadership role amidst all the uncertainty and the extra planning required during a pandemic, while also navigating all of the politics and personalities and opinions related to masks and start dates and safety protocol, I have to admit that all of this has certainly challenged my leadership abilities. I simply could not have done it, however, without the help of all the members of the Titan Force Committee, as well as an incredibly supportive board, and the prayers of many Trinity families who personally reached out to me to express support and encouragement. To all of these folks, I simply want to say thank you. Now, in the past month since I started working for Trinity, tough decisions have had to be made that are certain to please no one, and on a timeline that feels like we are running on a treadmill going 11. The old adage that you can't please everyone all the time definitely applies in our current moment. If school starts normally, people will be upset. If school starts with restrictions, people will be upset. If we wear masks, people will be upset. If we don't wear masks, people will be upset. If we physically distance, people will be upset. And if we don't physically distance, you guessed it, people will be upset. And on and on and on. For whatever reason, this kind of lose-lose pattern with the potential to upset everyone at every turn, it just seems to be unavoidable in these challenging times. But even though it does seem like an impossible situation, I nevertheless remain incredibly optimistic. Folks, we serve a God of infinite love, goodness, and power, and He will never abandon us nor forsake us. We have a beautiful mission to inspire students with the joy of learning and the fear of the Lord, and this will never change. We have faithful teachers who stand ready to serve their students with integrity and passion, and they are eager for the year to begin. We have diligent students who love to learn, and they are restless to return to school to see their friends. We have supportive families who are willing to make huge financial sacrifices to provide a Christ-centered and a classical education for their children, and they are standing united with us despite the uncertainty of the future. Folks, I'm not just optimistic. I am certain that God has a glorious future in store for Trinity, and I am truly excited to see how He is going to move in the coming year as we remain focused on our mission. As I say this, I do want to acknowledge that many families remain uneasy about the changes that we have had to make to return to school safely. There is a significant concern that our virus mitigation strategies could end up compromising Trinity's unique culture and actually negatively impact the learning process. There are questions about how long Trinity will have to employ the tactics of physical distancing and limited mask wearing, and how the school leadership will decide when it's time to lift these restrictions and return to normal. These are all very legitimate concerns, and I want to assure the Trinity community that we do take them seriously. However, I do want to remind everyone that Trinity's unique culture is not defined by our facility arrangements. It's not defined by our physical proximity or even by our facial accoutrements. These are just trappings. They are incapable of compromising our community. The essence of Trinity's culture is bound up in our Christ-centered and our classical mission. The mentoring of one generation by another, the friendships that are forged in the classroom and on the soccer field and on the volleyball court. It's found in our common faith, our common humanity, our commitment to excellence, and our common commitment to love God and love others. Masks, distancing, hand washing, health screening, online learning, none of these things can separate us from the love of God and the love we have for one another. None of these things can stop us from training the next generation of godly leaders. We are certainly living through an uncertain time, and I can't tell you with certainty when we can return to normal. But one thing I am certain about is that this is temporary. It will not last. The virus remains a threat now, but we have learned how to live with it. And if we are vigilant in being cautious, we have a much better chance of returning to normal quickly. As I previously stated, our Titan Force Committee will be carefully monitoring the spread of COVID-19, as well as the effectiveness of our safety strategies throughout the first quarter of the school year. Our goal remains to open and to stay open as long as we can by stopping the spread of the virus within our school community. If we are successful in this effort, and if we begin to see the fruit of this effort, there is hope that in the near future we can begin to relax the restrictions and begin the process of returning to school as usual. I don't have a crystal ball, and I can't tell you with certainty when this will be over, but I can tell you that we want nothing more. So, until next week, pray without ceasing, be gracious, and stay positive, my friends.